With the AWA, I noticed in your career that Vern would let you just go back to Hawaii for a week every so often. Was that the case? Was he trying to build up a relationship with Hawaii, or did he just know that you needed a bit of surf here and there?
Yeah, well, I would go. I'd take some time off. I think I went a couple of times. I wasn't there all that long.
No. 2 years, maybe a little less.
Yeah, yeah. One time I went back on a vacation, and one time I was booked back there and missed my flight home, flight back to Minneapolis. So I don't think I got booked there anymore. When the when the talent got sent to Honolulu to work, I wasn't on the list.
Is that why you ended up in Roy Shire's territory then?
Yeah.
Oh, was that genuinely why you got fired for missing
No,
the
no,
flight?
no. I quit. I resigned. Vern couldn't understand why I wanted to leave all that money, but he'd never, he's used to growing up in the Midwest there,
Hmm.
the hunting and the snowmobiling and the fishing and all that stuff, all that lake recreation.
You could have taken up windsurfing.
Probably it's cold though. Those moguls are high in December.
Um, you made a few appearances with the AWA shortly after leaving the WWF, including like Colonel De Beers. You wrestled for him. You wrestled Larry Zbyszko to a double DQ. How was that always just going to be a temporary thing? The AWA after you left the WWF. Sorry, it was about '89, I think this is.
Yeah, I was just kind of booking. Just I don't know how I ended up there, but I was doing some independent, just working around in independent places around the East Coast and getting ready to go to Japan. In fact, I had to go. I was up there in Toronto, and I had to fly to Los Angeles, as I had to cancel out of 2 or 3 events I was up there because I had to go and get all my Japan papers and stuff in order. I had to leave, go through Calgary, and go to Los Angeles, get all my Japan papers and stuff. But that was just a temporary. I wasn't looking for a territory at that time.
No, I because I mentioned him and I like bringing him up. Larry Zbyszko. I think I've mentioned him to you before. I've spoke to him before. He's highly amusing man. What did you? Just the man who can stall like nobody else. Larry as a wrestler, and any stories you've got of him?
He was a funny guy. NWA.
NWA.
He came in. He came into Georgia when I first met him. Oh God, I think it was before his Bruno. Before he split with Bruno, I believe. So he was one of the things where Vince Senior would farm out the guys to other territories and make up the difference in their paychecks or something, But he was there. Remember, he liked Frank Sinatra. Everybody was. It was the '70s. It was Rolling Stones and that kind of stuff was going on. Beatles, and whoever, Janis Joplin. He was a Frank Sinatra, Count Basie. I'm a big band guy. He was funny. He was funny. He had that whole East Coast thing going down, and he owned it. And turned out to be a hell of a worker, hell of an interview guy. Turned out to be a hell of a hand. Had that big break with Bruno. And I don't know what happened. What bridge he burnt there, where he never got back. I guess he stayed in Bruno's camp when Bruno and Senior split and Junior split. That's the only thing I can imagine. That he stuck with Bruno's camp and was on the losing team.
Didn't you ever play golf with him? I don't know if you've ever played golf in your life, but if you've known Larry for any amount of time, you would have got an offer.
No, I never did. I'm not a golfer.
No, for AWA, it must have been clear by the time you were there for those couple of shots in 1989 that the ship was sinking, basically. What do you was it obvious to you when you were there, those few shots you were doing? And what ultimately do you think caused the AWA's demise, other than competition from Vince McMahon?
Well, that was it, right? Just McMahon. I was there. We were in a big show in Milwaukee, and Vern was there, and he was. So I said, I don't understand. He says, "There's no loyalty. You know, the boys aren't. There's no loyalty." And I just, it just struck me funny as the loyalty. I decided to get any conversation with him or an argument or dialogue. Just hearing that, and Jesus, a loyalty from to guys that just made you a living and at times treated you well, but also could treat you like dirt as well. That the big promotions and stuff. You got 2 weeks to pack up and go. Your family or not, or you're done. You're done here in 2 weeks, and you're not making. I haven't got a paycheck for you after that. For the basic guys, though, your top guys might be a different story, and might finish up and be dropping matches, putting guys over on the way out, and know they're going to another territory. But if you're in that that bottom 2/3, you're done. You're over. How you can expect loyalty to that? I mean, he had a crew. They have their their loyal people that live there and don't want to leave the area. So that that creates your type of loyalty. But when guys come in to make big money, and to draw big bread, Wall McDaniels or superstar Billy Graham, guys like that, there's it's a fight, it's a lot of controversy there.
With the AWA as well, in the latter couple of years before they went under, did you notice when you turned up that you saw a lot of the same faces that you saw when you were there in the early 70s?
A few, yeah. I wasn't there that long. I just went through, I just kind of blitzed through 1 week. I didn't really pioneer that territory after. There were guys moving around with Kurt Hennig, and who had come from. I'd spent time with when he was just breaking in New York. Kurt Hennig, Rick Martel, Bachwick, a bunch of guys like that were, that were in the works there. So it had changed. Buck Zuma, a whole bunch of guys. It was new faces. I think Greg was running stuff. Brunzell, he and Brunzy were there, but aside from that, Crusher Blackwell.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you mentioned Buck Zumhoff. I know one thing about him, and it's not a great thing at all. So yeah, he's a bit of a massive shitbag. I'll move on from Buck Zumhoff because we're going to do.
He's still in prison?
He must be still in prison, definitely. I mean, he must have got like 1,000 years. Wasn't he a paedophile?
Yeah.
It's funny, people only remember two things about him. It was either lately he was a paedophile, or that he used to carry a boombox to the ring with him?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only two things that I think people remember about him at all.